On the season-open edition of Rewind, Los Angeles plays host from the Novo Theater at LA Live. 10 action-packed fights were featured across the Glory Super Fight Series and Glory 37 LA, highlighted by a world title fight that was, and one that wasn't. A tournament final that had a knockout of an ending. A heavyweight clash that went into sudden death.
But according to Glory rules, we'll go one more round.
An all-American battle, and the return of the ladies to the Glory ring. We begin with highlights featuring the Glory debut of 4th-ranked American Zoila Frosto as she took on 6th-ranked Daniela Graf of Germany.
3 fantastic rounds between these super bantamweights. What did you see in this contest, Tiffany?
I saw the ladies leaving it all out there once again, proving that we deserve to be here and that we're here to fight. Both girls hung in there tough, landed some big shots, did some damage, but I think at the end of the fight, it was Zoila's overall aggression, and she managed to find a home in that 3rd round and land a lot of big shots.
And Joseph, was Graf perhaps a little too one-dimensional in this fight?
Yeah, she only came forward and wasn't really moving her head off center line, ate a lot of straight punches, and really gave up on her low kicks, which she really likes to throw.
So now for the official decision. Will it be Frosto in her Glory debut or Daniela Graf? Here's Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of kickboxing, we go to the judges' scorecard. Here now are the totals: 30-27, 30-27, and 29-28, all for your winner by unanimous decision, Zoila Frosto.
Up next, U.S. rivals Warren Thompson and Mike Lemaire squared off in middleweight action.
Yeah, both of those guys put on a good performance. They showed an improvement in their activity, which they haven't really shown in the past, but it seemed like it was Thompson that really controlled the center of the ring, kept Lemaire against the ropes, and unleashed a lot of boxing and headshots. But Lemaire saying they didn't land, but that was a right hand that landed from Thompson, and this is where he just kept putting on that pressure with his boxing. And round after round, I believe according to Fight Metrics, he's only thrown 6 punches, but it was all that forward constant pressure I'm sure the judges were looking at as aggressiveness and clean scoring strikes.
Here are the final Fight Metrics statistics. Punches, not even close. 185 thrown by Thompson, but only 12 kicks.
No knees, and you can see how Mike Lemaire really used a little bit more of that Muay Thai background and mixing up his strike selection.
I think they missed a knee there at the end of the 3rd round. A flying knee from Warren Thompson. Strikes absorbed. Wow. Mike Lemaire is going to need some Advil after this one. 102 shots absorbed to the head. For the official decision, we send it into the ring, and Tim Hughes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of kickboxing, we once again go to the judges' scorecard. Here are the totals. Judge Crail and Judge Denkin score the bout 29-28. Judge Cobian scores it 30-27. All 3 for your winner by unanimous decision, Warren Thompson.
Soon after, the heavyweights got into the action, but 3 rounds weren't enough for Guto Innocent and D'Angelo Marshall.
Here are the highlights from this very close heavyweight encounter between Guto Innocent and D'Angelo Marshall. It took an extra round, Joe.
And they had very different styles, and it was the pressure fighting of D'Angelo Marshall, but it was round 2 which made this fight very interesting, where Guto was able to knock Marshall down with that overhand right and continue to put good pressure on. But in that 3rd round, Marshall was able to recover from that knockdown, come back and continue his pressure fighting ways, which ultimately made this fight go to an extra round. And again, just like the other 3, it was a very close round. Both exchanged punches. Guto did a good job at landing a little bit more of those spectacular strikes, but who knows? It was also Marshall landing some good punches. Can go either way.
Here are our strike statistics. It was close. As you can see, 196 thrown for Marshall. He landed 102 compared to 107 landed by Innocent. Strikes absorbed. Both men will be feeling this tomorrow. In a cinch, 88 headshots absorbed compared to 53 for the Dutchman. For the particulars on who won this fight, let's send it to Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after an extra round, all three of our judges see about the same and score it 10-9 for your winner, Guto Innocent.
The other heavyweight bout saw the glory return of Jonathan Deniz after a 3-year absence as he took on Tomas Mozny.
This heavyweight showdown lived up to the billing, at least for Deniz, who turned it into a brawl.
Yeah, he brought a lot of good pressure, and that was his key to success. And he found a good right hand in the first round, gave him a 10-8 round, started using good low kicks, which really slowed down the output of Mozny, but it was that constant pressure, constantly in the face, kept Tomas against the ropes, and that's what, in my opinion, gave him the fight.
Deniz traveled from Brazil to Holland to train for this bout, and it paid off. Look at the punch output. 103 thrown, 44 landed. He also led in the kicks department, which we thought maybe Mozny would do well there, but he did not.
But looking at those strike absorbs, it's Deniz that really did good damage with those inside low kicks.
For the official decision, back into the ring, and Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we once again go to the judges' scorecard. Here now are the totals. They score this bout 30-26, 29-27, and 29-27. A unanimous decision for your winner, Jonathan Deniz.
We're just getting started on Rewind. When we come back, it's welterweight action in the Contender Tournament, plus the return of the liver kick. February 24th, Glory 38 Chicago storms into town as Artem Bakhitov and Salo Cavallari settle who owns the light heavyweight title. Top-ranked heavyweight Benjamin Adegbui takes on Anderson Silva. Welterweight madness between the Predator Murtel Grunhard and Thai Terminator Tong Chai. Sheer knockout power in the light heavyweight Contender Tournament. And local hero Richard Abraham comes home. It's Glory 38 Chicago at the Sears Center Arena. Watch it live Friday, February 24th. Don't miss it. Coming off an upset defeat at the hands of Matt Embry in the featherweight Contender Tournament, 5th-ranked Giga Chikadze wasn't about to overlook Glory's youngest fighter, Leo Pinto, making his Glory debut at the age of 18.
Right. Says Chikadze is a fast starter, but then slows down. Let's see if he's right.
Well, Pinto comes from a Muay Thai background. This is actually his first kickboxing fight, and Muay Thai fighters tend to start a little slow because they have 5 rounds. But here in Glory, 3 rounds, so he's got to pick up the pace a little bit earlier than he's used to.
Leo Pinto, a huge star along with his brother in Thailand. Moved there from France at the age of 9. 2 years later, was fighting professionally. He said he was just trying to fit in with the culture there, and all young boys in Thailand fight in Muay Thai.
Giga Chikadze actually had a very good performance at Glory 33. Although he lost to Embry in the finals, he did beat former welterweight champion Sergey Adamchuk.
Chikadze wearing the blue trunks, Pinto in the black. Sweep there, that works in Muay Thai, not in Glory.
No, with the Glory rules, you got to kick the leg under. You can't sweep. You got to kick out. But that's what Pinto's very dangerous with in his Muay Thai. He's known for those quick sweeps, and it's going to be an adjustment for him.
Pinto said, my best weapon, my kicks.
Yeah, he likes to keep distance, fight on the outside, and really use those kicks. And you're going to see him, too. He said in the pre-fight interview he's going to look for when Chikadze switches his stance, and that's when he's going to try to time the body kick.
Nice right hand from Chikadze. Pinto says, bring it on, and that's exactly what Chikadze does.
Chikadze threw a beautiful axe kick right between the defense of Pinto, but that right hand rocked Pinto.
Listen to the sound of these kicks connecting to each other's rib cage.
That's what Chikadze has to do, really get active with his boxing. The Pinto has been working his boxing, but Chikadze has been a little bit more.
Oh, what a shot! What a shot by Chikadze! And Leo Pinto is in a world of pain.
It looks like he's grabbing below But that was definitely that body kick that Giga's known for.
You can hear the pain coming out of Leo Pinto's voice. What a shot. Hopefully Pinto's okay.
That's Giga Chikadze's kick. He calls that the Giga kick, which is that nice left kick to the liver, and that's what he calls his Giga kick. He has a few glory knockouts with it.
Let's watch this again in slow motion. Went high, and then, oh.
Just under the elbow, that instep, perfectly placed right on that liver. Well done, Giga. That's his Giga kick he's known for.
This bout comes to an end at 2 minutes and 3 seconds of that very first round and ends by knockout for your winner, Giga Chikadze.
The welterweight contender tournament was highlighted by two of the top-ranked fighters in the division, Yohan Kongolo and Karim Ben Mansour. In the first semifinal, Kongolo easily took care of Russia's Konstantin Husin. The second semifinal proved a bit tougher for Ben Mansour, as he narrowly won a split decision from Alan Scheinsen, who was making his glory debut. The finals featured what many expected, as Sweden's Yohan Kongolo took on Karim Ben Mansour of France. On the line, a title shot against newly crowned champion Cedric Doumbé at Glory 39 Belgium this upcoming March.
Round 1 of 3. Ben Mansour in the black gloves, Yohan Kongolo wearing white.
Let's see what strategy Kongolo's come up with and see if Ben Mansour can use his movement to avoid that pressure fighting.
What did Kongolo learn, if anything, by watching Ben Mansour in the back?
Well, that his leg's damaged. So I would expect him in his corner to really try to finish that leg. Mix in some of those hook low kicks that he did in his first round.
Instead, Kongolo comes out swinging.
There he goes, attacking the leg though. You're gonna see him probably mix up that left hook, right low kick a lot.
Head kick from Ben Mansour, partially blocked by Kongolo.
But see how Ben Mansour moves. He's not a standing target. He'll hit, he'll move, create angles. He doesn't want to be against the ropes and standing for Kongolo to let those big body shots and low kicks go.
Kongolo felt his loss to Ben Mansour was one of the biggest disappointments of his career. Felt very confident he could win this rematch.
Ben Mansour is very hard to hit because he constantly moves, but
he hit him a couple times there.
Kongolo found him there with those straight punches.
Some swelling now around the right eye of Ben Mansour. But Ben Mansour is tough as they come, ladies and gentlemen.
And he won't stop throwing. He'll constantly punch, he'll constantly counter punch and move.
A knee landing from Kongolo, who's upping his output now. Trade jabs. Kongolo got the better. There's a knee as well. And you can see the damage now on the face of Ben Mansour.
And Kongolo's using knees. I'm surprised he's using a lot of knees, but shook his head and saying those punches ain't landing.
Stop! Box.
Who would you say the favorite was coming into this fight, Joe?
Well, it's got to be Yohan Kongolo. Like I said, with all his experience in his past glory bouts, with his improvements in his boxing, but you can never count out Ben Mansour. Constantly throws, constantly moves, and he will never just give up.
How much will he slow down, though, as this fight progresses? Was in a very active first fight earlier tonight. And Kongolo is forcing him to be very active again in this first round.
The problem is he's fighting off his heels and hard to get power when you're fighting backing up all the time.
It's hard to out-aggressive Yohan Kongolo.
He's still active, and that's the cool thing. He's fighting backwards, but he's still throwing as he's fighting backwards.
Oh, and a knee connects to Ben Mansour, whose head went on the opposite side of the ropes now. But Kongolo has to be feeling very confident now as Ben Mansour continues to take a pounding.
Congolo doesn't seem concerned with the boxing at all of Ben Mansour. He's just constantly pressuring him, getting him against the ropes, but surprised he's not throwing that outside right low kick.
Ben Mansour took a knee. The referee saying that he was forced down with a push. But Ben Mansour needs to find some offense here. It's been all Congolo the first 50 seconds.
I'm starting to wonder if Congolo maybe hurt his shin in the first fight. Maybe that's why he's not really throwing that right low kick.
He's throwing plenty of knees.
You can see the welt on Congolo's left shin probably from all the blocking. But he has improved boxing, so good opportunity for him to showcase it.
When you're in a fight of this magnitude, do you feel those type of injuries, or is that something you feel later when you're sitting at the hotel?
Well, with the adrenaline, you don't really feel it, but you know there's some damage. Even though you don't necessarily feel the full effect of it, you know something's going on when you're done. You're limping for a few weeks, and there's a lot of swelling there for about a month.
That was considered a sweep, but Congolo right back to the front leg of Ben Mansour, an outside low kick. Congolo has fought for a world title. Ben Mansour has not.
Congolo's waiting too long now.
Ooh, and that knee again from Congolo. He's landed 40 total strikes compared to Ben Mansour's 21. He's doubling the output.
He's doing a good job with those knees.
Stop. Walk.
Ben Mansour is doing a good job in the second round, though, of continually countering back and moving. Congolo's getting a little frustrated, trying to call him on because his pressure fighting isn't being so successful in this round.
That's what Congolo told us about their first fight. He felt that Ben Mansour ran too much. He says, let's stand in the middle and have at it.
Well, Ben Mansour is smarter than that. He's been around a long time to know you should not
Oh,
stand.
body shot! You heard the connection! And the Frenchman gasping for air.
Beautiful left hook, Congolo.
Ellen. Okay. Push in. Time.
This is our third and final round. The winner gets a world title shot against welterweight champion Cedric Doumbé.
And Congolo just ran out of the corner, established the center of the ring. You know he wants to come in there and try to find that left hook to deliver again.
Ben Mansour says it would be a dream come true
There was definitely an adrenaline spike with Congolo.
to fight for a world title. He's got to find some magic here with 3 minutes to go and a 10-8 round in the books for Congolo.
Beautiful left hook, right low kick. That's what I wanted him to throw a lot earlier, but now with that liver hurt, perfect setup.
It's certainly Congolo's fight to lose at this point. Don't count out Ben Mansour. Both of his eyes are beginning to swell shut.
But still throws. He won't stop.
You can just see the fatigue all over the body. His balance is off. His face is swelling up. But Ben Mansour hanging in there.
And Congolo's doing a good job being active, mixing his punches and kicks.
And a right hand connects for the Frenchman. Look at the welts on the back even for Ben Mansour. He's gonna need a spa day tomorrow.
He's gonna need a few ice baths at the same time.
Oh, and a knee snuck through there, and I think it connected on the chin. The referee says it was a slip.
It's tough to see from that angle, but I heard a nice connection. Back to the liver for Congolo.
So 51 seconds left here in this third and final round. The winner advancing to a world title shot And right now it appears it will be the Swissman. Spinning back kick. Another jumping knee. Oh, he wants a spinning heel kick now. Congolo having fun.
He's relaxed. He's not too concerned with Ben Mansour's power, so he's able to walk through them and throw a little bit more of those spectacular kicks and knees to the head.
Oh, the right hand connects, and that may just do it. The mouthpiece comes out of Ben Mansour.
Yeah, beautiful setup. You knew Ben Mansour was going to cover his elbows. That's when he went to the head.
And it's a knockout win. Dramatic fashion stuff for Yohan Congolo, who is now the #1 contender for the welterweight championship of the world.
That was one of the nicest setups I've seen Congolo use to knock down his opponent. And he did a good job at changing levels with his punches. And when you know you have the liver hurt, it's important you take punches elsewhere. The fighter's too focused on the liver, and there you go, Congolo throwing a nice right hook, finishing this fight and getting his rematch against Cedric Doumbé.
Ladies and gentlemen, you watched it as it happened. We have an official time of 2 minutes and 57 seconds of that third and final round. This one ends by knockout. For your winner, and now Glory Welterweight Contender Tournament Champion, Yohan Congolo.
Later on Rewind, Jason Wilness makes his first title defense of his middleweight belt. But up next, the featherweight title is up for grabs. Or is it? February 24th, Glory 38 Chicago storms into town as Artem Bakhitov and Salo Cavallari settle who owns the light heavyweight title. Top-ranked heavyweight Benjamin Adegbui takes on Anderson Silva. Welterweight madness between the Predator Murtel Grunhard and Thai Terminator Tong Chai. Sheer knockout power in the light heavyweight contender tournament. And local hero Richard Abraham comes home. It's Glory 38 Chicago at the Sears Center Arena. Watch it live Friday, February 24th. Don't miss it. What was to be Robin van Roosmalen's first title defense as featherweight champion never materialized.
Now, the official weigh-in for this fight actually happened this morning with the California State Athletic Commission. Robin came in about 0.8 of a pound heavy. And according to California State Athletic Commission rules, will not be allowed to defend his belt here in California.
Tell us what happened.
I'm disappointed too. Yeah, we didn't at the official scale at the hotel, so we couldn't check the difference between my scale and the official scale. On my scale, I was on 0.65 kilo flat. On the official scale of the California State Commission, I wasn't. So that happened.
Now stripped of his title before he could defend, Van Roosmalen needed a victory to retain his #1 ranking. However, should Matt Embry pull off the upset, he would become the new featherweight champion.
All right, Joe, what's going to be the difference in this contest?
Well, that just stare down got me really hyped up. It's the difference is it's going to be Van Roosmalen looking to pressure fight, where Embry's going to use movement, angles to set up his big power shots that he showed at Glory 33.
At Glory 33, Ruben Van Roosmalen just mowed right through Gabriel Varga. Won a world championship in the featherweight division. He used to hold a lightweight title.
And this small ring plays a big advantage in this fight for Van Roosmalen, as it's going to allow him to easily and use his pressure fighting a little bit more effectively.
Van Roosmalen was somewhat dismissive of Matt Embry's chances, said the first 2 rounds might be competitive, but in the third, he's done.
That's because Robin is a pressure fighter. He's going to keep trying to wear you down. He uses that tight shield defense to get inside. But you can see what Embry's trying to do. He's trying to fight on angles. He's not staying in the pocket. And speaking to him before, he says, everybody fights Robin the way Robin fights, which is staying in the pocket and trying to exchange. So he's going to try to use angles and movement on the outside to avoid that pressure forward fighting.
And that right hand connected there from Van Roosmalen. And now Embry throwing a 1-2.
Yeah, but it's Van Roosmalen doing a good job at using that counter low kick on the inside.
And Joe, full disclosure, you trained Matt Embry at times preparing for this fight. How did he look?
Well, Matt Embry lives about 20 minutes from me, and we were able to, he helped me prepare for my world title fight against the late Mark DeBont, rest in peace. So it was a good opportunity for us to get some training and offer back some of my services.
Van Roosmalen has never taken a backward step in his career, I don't think, at least not willingly. He always comes forward. His style is simple but destructive.
Yeah, he just walks you down. Embry's doing a good job at staying relaxed.
And this is Embry's first world title fight here in Glory, of course, but he's fought some big fights, including Muay Thai legend Sanchai fought him in Thailand in a bare knuckle fight, Joe.
Yeah, they have roped hands, and he barely brought it to Sanchai, which is very impressive. And he said even after winning this, he would love to fight him in the Glory ring.
Sanchai does fight with Glory, undefeated in the Glory promotion.
That's what Robin needs to do. Keep trying to get on the inside and use that low kick and try to follow up with his hands.
Embry with a push kick, creating that distance that he certainly wants. He's taller, longer reach. A pretty good opening salvo for the Canadian.
Yeah, he's doing a good job at staying active on the outside. Both guys have been very similar in power strikes thrown. This round could easily be a draw round.
Round 2 of a scheduled 5.
Embry's really using that front kick, and then you see how he steps off with his right foot. He's creating angles, trying to look for those uppercuts.
Van Roosmalen in the white gloves, Matt Embry wearing black.
Embry's really looking at attacking that body. He's throwing a lot more body shots. But Van Roosmalen needs to keep up with those low kicks.
A straight right hand connects, strikes absorbed. Embry has been hit more. Didn't feel that way in round 1. Van Roosmalen is always going to be up in your grill. You just got to deal with it.
Yeah, he keeps coming forward. He's not going to back up. He'll put 5 rounds of constant pressure and volume. Can Embry keep up with that volume? But he's being very calculated with his strikes. He's not throwing everything with power, and he's really setting up that left hook to the body. But what makes Robin so tough to beat is his tight shield defense. Not many punches can land through that guard.
One of Van Roosmalen's best defensive weapons is his chin. He doesn't mind getting hit on the chin if he can hit you in the same place.
But not many land on his chin. It may look like it because his defense, but his defense is very hard to hit and very hard to get on the inside, and that's why you see Matt Embry really trying to attack the body. Van Roosmalen with a nice uppercut himself.
Yeah, snuck in there. Van Roosmalen, trained by his father, Wilhelm, fighting out of the Netherlands. As for Matt Embry, fighting out of Toronto, Canada. Looking to become the 4th Canadian world champion in Glory.
Yeah, Canada has produced some great champions.
One of them sitting to my right, Joseph Valtellini, the former welterweight champion of the world.
Yeah, we had after me, we had Simon Marcus, Gabriel Varga, and Matt Embry really trying to add himself to the list. I'd like to see Robin be a little bit more active, maybe a little bit more counter-punching.
There's some right there, and you can see the left leg of Matt Embry beginning to swell up from those low kicks.
Yeah, that's in his best weapon.
Nice push kick there. Some people think a push kick's only for defense. It can be an offensive weapon too.
Let's see what adjustments Embry's gonna make from that inside low kick.
Embry sized up that uppercut.
Both guys showing good defense.
Remember, Van Roosmalen told us yesterday, the first 2 rounds will be fun, but I'll end it in the 3rd. And that's the stanza we enter now, round 3. Van Roosmalen wearing white, Embry in the back gloves.
There's that activity of Van Roosmalen, which he really needs. Like he said, he was gonna pick it up, throwing good counter left hooks.
hand just missed from Embry.
I like when Embry's throwing his straight punches. He needs to keep his weapons long and set up his power punches. He can't just come in and power punch because Van Roosmalen's counter punching is one of his best weapons.
And Embry is all in on martial arts. Said he's a martial artist inside and out of the ring. He's always on the path of improvement and elevation. And a win tonight will certainly elevate him to the top of the featherweight division.
But he seemed to be slowing down in this third round, and this is what Van Roosmalen's pressure does to you.
Again, the damage on the leg or legs of Embry is clear to anyone who's watching.
And one comment Embry said about Van Roosmalen, he called him one-dimensional.
That was not a knockdown, a sweeping motion from Embry, and that seemed to just get maybe Van Roosmalen a little bit angry.
Yeah, it's that constant pressure. Let's see what adjustments Embry's gonna make, but Robin's really doing well in this third round because he's being more active.
Stop, break, get back, fight.
We are halfway through this fight right now, Joe. How would you rate it so far?
This fight is still up in the air because it's Embry who found success in the earlier, in the early round, part of round 2, but it's Van Roosmalen really picking up at the end of the second and into this third round. So right now it could be even on the judges' scorecard.
Van Roosmalen didn't believe Embry was even close to being on his level. He's shown, at least thus far, he certainly belongs in a fight of this magnitude.
It's a very technical fight with their footwork, and what Embry's really trying to do is he's trying to step off center. The last thing you want to do with Robin is stay in the pocket and stay in the center because that's where he's most dangerous. But you can see the way Robin controls the ring, it's very hard for Embry to use his low kicks and his movement because that pressure fighting and controlling of the ring is Robin's best weapon.
And now Robin letting those hands go a little bit in round 3.
You hear his dad yelling for the low kick.
Embry may be landing the left, but Van Roosmalen's smiling now. He likes this kind of fight, and that's what we're getting here. A world championship on the line for Embry. Total strikes, according to Fight Metric, for Van Roosmalen, 75. For Matt Embry, 76. It's been that close of a contest as we now enter the championship rounds. Round 4 of a scheduled 5.
There's Robin mixing up that hook, uppercut, hook, which is the strategy he needs to do.
Because Roosmalen inching up the pressure, turning up the heat now.
And it's those uppercuts of Van Roosmalen on the inside do a lot of damage. And look at the leg of Embry. It's all red, swollen, and they're definitely adding a toll because Embry's output has slowed down.
A nice combination for Van Roosmalen, who went upstairs with the fist and then into the combination with a low kick. The punches and kicks are landing more crisply now for the Dutch native. Nice uppercut.
Well done by Robin. It's mixing up those levels and mixing in those uppercuts. This is Embry's first 5-round kickboxing fight. This is where the advantage and the experience of Van Roosmalen comes in.
So what's the game plan now for Embry, who appears to be on the receiving end of more of these kicks and punches than he'd like?
Well, he's eating a lot of those low kicks and leg kicks and punches on the inside, which really slow down his movement. His strategy is to use movement and angles, but right now he's staying in the pocket a little too long. Like right there, that's how you don't want to fight Robin. Stay in front of him head to head. You got to move your feet.
How was Embry's cardiovascular conditioning when you were in the ring with him, training?
Well, it looked good in conditioning with training, but when you have a pressure fighter like Robin constantly in your face, and that body shot hurt.
It did, and now a couple rights to the head have followed up, and Embry's in big trouble. And he's calling a stoppage to the fight. Big John McCarthy says it's over, and Embry is not complaining. It is over. Van Roosmalen has beaten Matt Embry. Robin van Roosmalen, the winner. How'd he do it, Joe?
Just as Van Roosmalen predicted, it was Embry who did a great job in the first 2 rounds, really getting in there, mixing his body shots. But in round 3 it was just too much pressure for Embry. Robin was able to use his counter hooks, attacking the body, using good low kicks and uppercuts, and just too much pressure and too much power in Van Roosmalen for Matt Embry. And it was that end onslaught of Robin van Roosmalen. Started with a left hook to the body, kept finishing with head punches, and is now the #1 contender.
Here are the strike counts. 189 punches thrown by Matt Embry. You can't question his output, but it was Van Roosmalen who was more accurate and more effective.
It's those power punching of Van Roosmalen and those low kicks that really made the difference in this fight, but it was ultimately all that damage and power punching of Van Roosmalen that slowed Embry down. And like I said before, everyone has a plan until they get hit.
Let's make it official. Tim Hughes with the particulars.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this bout comes to an end with an official time of 2 minutes of that 4th round when your referee, John McCarthy, steps in to wave this one off for your winner by knockout, Robin van Roosmalen.
While Embry gave a gutty performance, he was no match for Van Roosmalen. As #1 contender, he now awaits his opponent and the opportunity to regain his vacated belt. We will step aside one more time, and when we return, we'll look back on a title fight that was. February 24th, Glory 38 Chicago storms into town as Artem Bakhitov and Salo Cavallari settle who owns the light heavyweight title. Top-ranked heavyweight Benjamin Adegbui takes on Anderson Silva. Welterweight madness between the Predator Murtel Grunhard and Thai Terminator Tong Chai. Sheer knockout power in the light heavyweight contender tournament. And local hero Richard Abraham comes home. It's Glory 38 Chicago at the Sears Center Arena. Watch it live Friday, February 24th. Don't miss it. After taking the middleweight title from Simon Marcus in impressive fashion back at Glory 33, New Jersey, Jason Wildes would make his first title defense against surprise upstart Israel Adesanya, winner of the contender tournament at Glory 34, Denver.
Big John McCarthy, our referee. 5 3-minute rounds. Adesanya in the black gloves, the champion Wildes wearing white.
You're going to see Wildes really try to use his counter striking, and there he goes with that inside low kick. But you can expect Wildes to pick the fight up as the rounds go on. So he's going to try to use his pressure and counter fighting, and as the rounds progress, you'll see him start opening up with some big punches.
Yeah, Wildes, normally a slow starter. He started very slow against Simon Marcus, but then in the second round, completely turned the fight on its head, scoring a knockout victory to become the middleweight champion.
Well, Wildes' coach, Danny DeVries from Coliseum Gym, said that was their plan. Set it up, wait for the first 2 rounds, find your pressure, find your range, and then let those big power punching go.
Adesanya trying to read the situation. Spinning heel kick misses.
He's trying. There's a lot of kick versus punch here. It seems like Adesanya really wants to stay long with his punches and avoid those counter low kicks. So he's constantly switching stances, making it very difficult for Wildes to figure out his timing and his distance.
In meeting Israel Adesanya, one of the first things I noticed was the size of his hands. They are massive, huge. It was like grabbing a bunch of bananas. Made me feel like a child, Joe. He's a big boy for this division, that's for sure. And we'll try and use that height and reach advantage for an advantage against Jason Wildes.
Both guys are actually starting really relaxed. It seems like it's the punching versus kicks. Let's see if those counter low kicks from Wildes can slow down that boxing of Adesanya.
If this does go the full 5 rounds, who do you give the edge to?
Well, both are staying really relaxed. Adesanya has a very good relaxed style, but Wildes seems to get better and more aggressive as the fight goes on. Still, both have an advantage in the later rounds.
Look at the intensity on the face of Adesanya. Just trying to solve a puzzle.
He's just focused in, and what he's doing is he's using his jab to blind Wilness, and then he mixes a nice straight to the body. Wilness has a high shield defense, which kind of blocks his head but leaves his body open, so it looks like Adesanya is really trying to focus on body attacks.
So very fast round one, and a good start for the challenger, Israel Adesanya. Jason Wilness dedicating tonight's performance to his father who recently died. But one of the moments that Wilness will always have with him is that his dad was able to see him win a middleweight championship before he passed. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the Wilness family, including Jason's brother, Jafar, who's watching right now back in the Netherlands.
Yeah, those two have traveled and fought together, and they have Jafar at home taking care of the family in the gym.
But Wilness said he can't get too emotional. He can't think about that while he's fighting. Needs to stay even keel.
Good knee by Adesanya, but good counter.
And there's some spectacular offense from Israel Adesanya.
But that's what Wilness has to do. He's waiting to the end of the round to put the pressure on. But Adesanya is just doing a great job on the outside, staying long.
So round 3 of a scheduled 5. This is for the middleweight championship of the world. Israel Adesanya, just his 3rd glory fight. He won his first 2, winning a contender tournament to get this opportunity, and he's trying to make the most of it.
Well, this is where Wilness's camp said they're going to start picking up the pace, and I feel that Wilness does need to be a little bit more active. He can't wait too long. He's got to pressure a little bit more and be a little bit more active. Good counter left hook. That's what he needs to do. Counter back in combinations.
Do you like the way that Adesanya keeps his hands low? Obviously, that's not what you're teaching your students to do back in Toronto.
Well, he's very good at controlling distance, and that's why he's very effective. He knows his range, he knows his distance, and that's why he can keep his hands down a little bit. But what Adesanya does really well is, with his hands down, he punches and jabs at different angles, which makes it hard for Wilness to see where it's coming from.
Wilness with 37 strikes to the leg. He hasn't kicked anywhere else, has been going for that base.
But we saw good counter combinations where he's throwing 2-3 punch counters, and that's how he caught Simon Marcus, and I think this is what he has to do in these later rounds.
Neither man can feel too confident that they won one or both of the first 2 rounds. No one has been overwhelming for sure, but more flashy, more spectacular looking Israel Adesanya.
It's the difference in styles.
Just pawing away now at Wilness before throwing a power punch. The knee to the body, and Wilness was waiting for it and threw a right hand.
Yeah, he connected with that. Championship rounds for this belt.
Wilness, 26 years old. 5 rounds are great for me, he said. I'm a slow starter. I get better with each round. And the 3rd round was his best round. Round 4 of a scheduled 5. Wilness in the white gloves, Adesanya in the black. Total strikes landed almost identical right now. 73 for Wilness, 71 for Adesanya.
The big difference is Adesanya is a little bit more active, but it seems like Wilness's shots are doing a lot more damage. I'd like to see Adesanya go back to that left hook to the body.
The right hand got in for Adesanya. But Wilness wants Adesanya to throw more punches. That's more openings. He can land a counter punch.
There's Wilness trying that right hand again over the jab of Adesanya.
You can hit Wilness. It's not that hard. But the question is, can you handle him hitting you?
Yeah, if you're gonna hit him, he's gonna come back and counter with something. And he's gonna try to hit you harder. And there's that right hand that he found success with in the third round. I like those knees from Adesanya. I think that's a perfect strategy, but he's got to cover his head because he knows punches from Congolo are following.
Nice knee from Adesanya. Look at the kick distribution. Wilness has one target and one target only, the legs.
Yeah, he's trying to slow down that outside movement.
Ooh.
They're starting to add up. I'd like to see Wilness throw his right low kick when Adesanya's on an orthodox. His legs wide open for a right low kick.
And now both men beginning to open up their offense a little bit. It's a close round 4.
Hands are free, fight through it, fight through it. Come on.
I'm still giving the advantage in this.
From Adesanya.
Yeah, I think Wilness has the advantage because of damage, and those low kicks are starting to add up and start to show signs when Israel's legs getting swiped out under him.
Nice uppercut. Adesanya trying to shake the damage out of his legs, staying on his toes.
Very hard to hurt Wilness. I don't think he has. I've seen him really hurt in his recent fights.
The 5th and final round for the middleweight championship of the world. The champion Wilness, the challenger Adesanya. Wilness fighting for his father, the memory of his father, Adesanya, fighting for the country of his birth, Nigeria.
Wilness seems to be still pretty fresh and constantly pushing the pace.
And a nice body kick from Adesanya.
He's landed a few good body shots.
Who will win this round? They could very well win the fight. I said earlier, Adesanya promised to be the matador, remove the cape away from the bull, but as the rounds have progressed, that cape isn't doing much work for him.
It's getting harder and harder. It was easier in the first few rounds, but as Wilness gets more active, it's making it harder for Adesanya to use his movement. But you have to see, it was just Israel just landed about 4 or 5 punches. So it's that activity of Adesanya could be steering the judges, but everything Wilness hits hurts.
Nice head movement by Adesanya.
Good way to slip out there, got under that left hand of Wilness. I like that straight left from Adesanya from the southpaw, but need to see him put some power behind those shots. Good counter left hook by Wilness again.
Things are heating up, a minute to go. Who will win the middleweight championship of the world?
We're gonna see Wilness put on a lot of pressure here. If I was Adesanya, I would kind of counter back and be as active as possible.
Adesanya felt that defense would win this fight, but right now, he may need to dig down in his offensive well.
Are the judges looking at those low kicks as doing damage? And they are, so even though Adesanya is landing 3-4 punches, one of Wilness's low kicks seem to be doing more damage.
A knee to the rib cage for Adesanya. 30 seconds to go. Oh, and a left hand connects, and Adesanya lowers his head.
Well, this is where Wilness should shine. Adesanya needs to keep tight. There's only 10 seconds left.
10 seconds to go now. Will they open up? Another close round. It could go either way, ladies and gentlemen. Who is the middleweight champion? Got to take the title from the champion. Did Adesanya do enough?
Well, his first few rounds were his most successful rounds. He was very good at switching his stances, making it a little bit more difficult for Wilness to land it, and he was able to throw those flashy things. But as the fight progressed, it seemed to be Wilness in his pressure fighting that did the best job. He was landing some good right hands in the third and then again in the fourth. But it was those low kicks and that constant pressure of Wilness that, in my opinion, could have steered it. But again, I have no idea. It's my unofficial scorecard. Both guys put a spectacular fight, and I'm curious to know the decision.
Here are our final statistics. Look at the strike stats. 211 punches thrown by Israel Adesanya. He landed 70 of them. But kicks, 81 to 50 as far as thrown. Do you like the punches better, or do you like the kicks? That may be what the judges have to decide.
And Adesanya did throw some good knees in the beginning of the fight, but look at that damage Wilness was doing and constantly attacking that leg, where Adesanya tried to capitalize on Wilness's high guard defense by attacking the body, which he was successful with. Let's see who's the winner.
Who is the winner? Tim Hughes tells us who the middleweight champion of the world will be.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 championship rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard. Here are the totals. They score this bout 49-46, 48-47, and 48-47. A unanimous decision for your winner. And still Glory Middleweight Champion of the World, Jason Wilness.
With the win, it's looking like his next opponent will be #1 ranked and former middleweight champion Simon Marcus in what is shaping up to be the next great rivalry in Glory. But up next, it's Chicago and Glory 38. We'll see you there.
Are you ready for glory?